Back with Bobby and JJ Radio, we have the great Navarra Williams, which is the CEO and president of SAMMinistries. We've talked about children, homeless children problem here in San Antonio. We're talking about all these different renovations and great things that this organization is doing in the San Antonio metro area. We're going to switch gears here a little bit. Talk about some of the types of programs that you guys have that you're working with here in the metro area.
So a relatively new program the last few years is something called rapid rehousing. You know, we talked a little bit about the prevention program in the other segment where we prevented a family from becoming homeless by paying their rent if they were going to get evicted, or paying their utilities if they're going to be disconnected. Well, sometimes we interview families, and that one-time assistance is not going to help them.
Right.
So we now have a program it's called Rapid Rehousing, and we can sort of say, you're going to have to leave this particular apartment, and we're going to help you set up somewhere else. So, you know, we will do a deposit, we'll do the rent, and we'll do the utilities for some period of time.
Right.
While we're working with them through our case management, which helps them, again, work on their budgeting, and helping to make them become self-sufficient again.
So this is more of a transitional period where they may have kind of bit off a little bit more than they could chew.
Right.
And so, you know, and you find them something that makes a little bit more sense for their situation.
Right. And when we first started this program, the federal government would help for about 3 months. Now, depending on the situation, it might help up to 12 months. And even though that's a long period of time, it's a lot less expensive than, for example, the transitional program I was talking to you about. Right. Because the families in that program pay no rent or utilities. So they do have to agree to a lot of conditions, which I can go into, but they pay no rent or utilities. So that program, if they stay the entire 2 years, is about $40,000 per family. Wow. Versus, you know, a family you help for 3 to 6 months, that might be closer to a $6,000 or $7,000 assistance.
That's a huge. So what are some of the stipulations in order to?
For in the transitional, you have to agree to either go to work full-time or go to school full-time. You have to agree to go through your life skills training. There's several classes like parenting and nurturing, money management, health and wellness. You know, there's these curriculums that they go through a 10-week period of each class, and so they have to get through all of that. It's a zero-tolerance facility, so no drugs or alcohol at any time. Curfew is 11 o'clock. You're going to have a curfew. And it's community living. It's not like you've got, I mean, you don't, it's not like you have a separate apartment. You have your separate room, but it's kind of like a dorm room like in college. So if people are noisy or loud, you can have all those kind of situations. Now, the residents they have the resident council, so they're usually self-manage a lot of those things. But we do have case managers that work with each family to make sure that they graduate within that 2-year period of time. And, you know, we're fairly successful. About 90% of the families that start the program finish the program. And once they're out of that program, they graduate into permanent housing. They're not homeless again.
That's awesome. And so what would be the requirements of the eligibility to be considered, I guess, for this program?
You have to be homeless.
Okay. How do you quantify that?
Well, so some people are in a homeless shelter. They might be at the Haven for Hope, or a woman and her family might be coming from Family Violence Prevention, or they might come from the Salvation Army shelter. They may be able to come up and prove to you that this is where we live. We live in our car. We live in our truck. Right. Which has happened for people coming to the transitional facility before. Sure. I mean, just one quick story. There was a family that came to us. There was a man and a woman. We don't usually have, two-parent families. Right. We have a lot of single mom families. Right. And they had 4 kids. And they said, we're homeless and we need your help. We verified the information. So she had started her associate in arts degree, so she went on to finish that. Wow. Her husband didn't have his GED. He got his GED. He ended up, he worked for the airport. He ended up getting several promotions over that 18-month period with us. Right. She finished her AA degree, and she also got her peace officer's license, and she was the first female police officer in Poteet. They graduated, and they're still doing well.
That's incredible.
How can somebody apply for assistance?
So now that's sort of changed. You used to be able to apply directly to SAMMinistries, but now there's something called coordinated entry. The federal government says, we want you to take care of the person that's the most vulnerable. So we participate in a system where a referral will be provided to us based on that person's vulnerability. Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to be a family. You have to be. You have to have the children or a child, and you have to have the be responsible for that child.
Yeah. They have to be.
You could be the parent, or you could be the grandparent, or you could be the uncle, but you do have to have the proper documentation to show that you're responsible for that child.
Gotcha. And so that puts you at the top
of the list.
I got you. Okay, great. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back, talk about some more issues here. We have the CEO and president of SAMMinistries. For more information about this organization, you go to SAMM.org.